Our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold talks today with representatives of mainstream political parties from Jammu and Kashmir. Now, this comes 22 months after the passage of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019, removing the special status of J&K and splitting it into the state into two union territories. Talks will be held at the Prime Minister's residence with Home Minister Amit Shah in attendance. The government is clear that there is no going back on the removal of Article 370, and while statehood can be discussed, the main agenda for the government will be seeking cooperation from political parties on the delimitation exercise underway for the assembly seats. Well, let's go across now to our reporters, and Nazir joins us from Srinagar. Sunil joins us from near the Prime Minister's residence, and Neeta also joining us on this story. Nazir, first to you, after 22 months, finally talks are being held with leaders from Jammu and Kashmir, and the Prime Minister leading those talks.
Yeah, exactly, from detentions to dialogue. 22 months back, all these leaders were detained, put under house arrest, in jail, demonized, called corrupt, and who are responsible for all miseries of Jammu and Kashmir. Same leaders have been invited for the all-party meeting at 3 p.m. today. So what is the agenda? Leaders who I have talked to, they say the agenda has not been communicated to them, but they all know it's on Jammu and Kashmir. It will be on the issues which is confronting Jammu and Kashmir. Their demand is restoration of special status which was taken away on 5th of August 2019. They're saying center may be willing to, restore the statehood, which the Home Minister has said it a number of times. Prime Minister has also said it as well. And here the BJP is also saying, look, statehood is on cards because Prime Minister and Home Minister are on record that they will restore the statehood. But the main demand of the Gupkar Alliance, which are the main regional parties, alliance of main regional parties, particularly National Conference and the PDP, say they stick to their demand. They stick to their guns on restoration of special status. Mehbooba Mufti even saying that, look, if you just settle with the state, it means, your feet are cut and then somebody is giving you shoe and telling you wear it and dance. So that is not acceptable. So everybody is watching this development. Nobody would have thought just 22 months back, even just 6-7 months back, when Amit Shah, Home Minister, called the Gupkar Alliance as a Gupkar gang, who are trying to get the foreign forces involved in this whole issue. We don't know what are the reasons actually for this sudden change of heart in the central government, why they have called them. But looks like as we see since February, there was first sign of the major peace move in Jammu and Kashmir was announcement of ceasefire along the line of control between Indian Army and Pakistani Army. They not only enforced, ensured a ceasefire, but they also said the both sides will address the core issues of on both sides, so that would not be compromised, and they will not allow any provocation to derail this ceasefire. So first sign of military diplomacy was seen on 25th of February when Indian and Pakistani armies announced the ceasefire. Is this part of that or not? But one important thing which is being talked about is if this meeting is also linked to delimitation. Let me clarify. You talk to any legal expert, they will say delimitation cannot be discussed by the executive because it is an independent body, delimitation commission. Even its orders cannot be challenged in the court of law. That is the power of delimitation commission. So in a political meeting called by political executive with the political parties, they cannot discuss delimitation because one, it is an independent body which is headed by a former Supreme Court judge. There is a member from the election commission. There are 5 MPs who are part of this from Jammu and Kashmir who are members of this commission. So beyond that, political parties have no role whatsoever in the process of delimitation. It would be interfering into the independent process of delimitation by any political party or executive if it is discussed in the meeting.
All right. Sunil, what are you hearing? Many are viewing this as the centre realizing that it cannot move forward in Kashmir without the political leaders, and therefore now, this meeting called for the first time the Prime Minister since the abrogation of Article 370, meeting with all the political leaders from Jammu and Kashmir.
That's right, Gargi. In fact, it's an achievement that the Prime Minister has been able to get all these political parties to physically meet at one forum at the Prime Minister's residence today, because that itself is an achievement, given the fact, as Nazir was pointing out, there are a lot of contradictions, there are a lot of issues and outstanding issues within the various political parties in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, be it the Gupkar alliance, or you break it up into the PDP, the NC, the Congress and the BJP and others. The fact is that they're all now coming together to discuss in one forum is a long way forward from, as Nazir pointed out, from detention to dialogue. What happens exactly, what is on the agenda, as we know from the government, as we've been reporting, definitely abrogation of, restoring Article 370 is out of the question. The question of statehood can be discussed, but it cannot be a core issue. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of structure takes place. Much will depend on the Prime Minister and his diplomatic skills in being able to get that lack of confidence amongst Jammu and Kashmir leaders 2 years earlier to a situation where they now will be sitting on the round table with him discussing core issues of the state of Jammu and Kashmir.